something terrible seems to be coming out of the water. The old man was so scared that he didn't dare to move. At that moment, two huge tentacles surfaced, and then it quickly and slowly pressed towards the shore, stirring up waves hundreds of meters high. The old man, who had regained his senses, hurriedly retreated, but the monster behind him had no intention of stopping. His powerful force blew the wing bridge to smithereens. In the blink of an eye, the whole pier was reduced to rubble. Along with a hiss, a row of Tarzan-like backs rose up from the ground, along with several tons of cruise ships all brought up. Passing cars were instantly smashed to pieces by the falling cruise ships. Before the pedestrians could figure out what was going on, a huge claw suddenly descended from the sky, and the entire road was instantly split in two. The pedestrians tried to run, but the next moment they were trampled to death. With the monster still approaching, with every step he takes, the earth crumbles. Humans are crushed like ants by the giant claws. Even rows of skyscrapers were cut down by him. The whole city was devastated. It was like a hell on earth. An hour later, the police arrived at the scene, but the monster had already disappeared. So they searched for footprints and found a huge pit that was so deep they couldn't see the bottom. But when they entered, they found no sign of the monster. Instead, they found tons of live fish. Apparently, these live fish were the monster's food, so it proposed to use the live fish to attract the monster to come out. Then the police brought in tons of live fish and made a mountain of them in the middle of the city. Then all the soldiers set up their machine guns and waited for the monster to enter the trap and kill it. But as time passed, nothing happened. As they were about to clock out, the ground suddenly started to tear apart. Then the monster came out of the cracks. A huge abyssal mouth like a mountain peak slowly poked out. This scene stunned everyone present. When the monster came out of the hole, his muscular body was filled with a powerful aura. And he was the legendary epic nuclear monster, Super Godzilla. Jack, who was mesmerized, took out his cell phone and took a picture of the monster's face. Luckily, Godzilla was not hostile to humans. He just sprayed at him and then turned to the fish. He was just about to take a big bite of the fish. The soldiers ambushed around immediately launched a sneak attack, only to see tens of thousands of ammunition hitting towards him. Luckily, Godzilla reacted quickly and dodged the shells. The building collapsed instantly. The falling pieces of the building killed and injured many soldiers. Godzilla turned around and left the building, not wanting to kill innocent people, but the soldiers are still shooting at him. But his huge body was unstoppable. Even the tanks were crushed like toys in front of him. But even so, there were still the teams of soldiers chasing after him. Godzilla was so angry that he let out a mouthful of atomic breath. In a flash, all the armored cars were reduced to ashes. After that, he jumped into the sea, against the infinite firepower output of the humans. Although the mission was a failure, it's good that they accidentally extracted Godzilla's blood. When they examined it, they found that the male Godzilla was pregnant. Jack reported this discovery to the organization and claimed that this monster could reproduce asexually on his own, and the egg must be somewhere in the city. Then he proposed to blockade the whole city to look for the egg. That's the only way to lure Godzilla out and destroy him again. So the police sent all the troops into the cave to look for the egg. It wasn't long before they found Godzilla's lair, but what they saw in front of them was a sight to behold. There were thousands of eggs all over the cave. If the eggs hatched, it would be the end of mankind. So they rushed to plant the bombs. They had to get rid of them all before they came out. But it was too late. One of the eggshells suddenly broke, and the little Godzilla inside emerged. That made them nervous. Then all the little monsters behind them came out. Jack saw this and ran for his life, but his companions, who couldn't evacuate in time, became their food on the spot. But the building was already surrounded by Godzilla. They were about to be wiped out. Luckily, the captain was able to lead them out in time by suppressing their fire. Soon after, support planes arrived. They fired missiles at the building. With a violent explosion, all the monsters inside were barbecued. Those who survived were just about to clock out. Suddenly there was a hissing sound, and a huge Godzilla came out from the ground. He looked at the corpses of his cubs on the ground and instantly became furious and quickly pounced towards the crowd, vowing to kill them to avenge his own children. Luckily, they found a car in the middle of the journey. Then they were able to escape under the superb driving skills of the god of cars and finally led Godzilla onto the bridge. Just as it passed through the archway, the steel cables on the bridge wrapped around him and he couldn't move. In the meantime, several fighters dropped nuclear bombs on him. With these precise strikes, the legendary king of monsters was completely annihilated. A catastrophe has been successfully resolved. Everyone cheered and jumped for joy. But what they didn't know was that in the deepest part of the cave, a small Godzilla had broken out of its shell. Apparently, the real crisis has just begun. This is the 2014 American science fiction movie Godzilla. A monster of epic proportions crawls from the depths of the ocean to the land. Everywhere he goes is in ruins. Cities are destroyed, roads cracked. Though humans attacked him, he turned and fled instead of fighting back. Humans found the monster's lair by searching for it and destroyed all his children. The monster is enraged and attacks the humans, but in the end, the humans lead him into a trap and destroy him alive. At the end of the movie, an egg of the monster is left behind, signifying that the disaster is not yet stopped. This story tells us that there may still be something unknown to us on Earth, and we have to be vigilant in order to survive until the end. I am Zero Sense Film. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment and subscribe to my channel. See you next time.